got the schedule pretty much firmed up.
I have his number still. Actually, no, you didn't. I didn't think you gave his phone number. But is he Granby phone book?
It says, hey,
Are you able to locate him?
Oh, yeah, you did.
I don't know, but I do.
great.
Price deal?
Yeah,
Well, if you just call me and wait for it.
that's what I told him.
I can get a hold of him.
So the couple that wrote that company.
Oh. So what, stopped in at your back?
Yeah, they said we stopped to spend some of the Granby money. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Granby Town Board, May 12th. So we'll start with a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ruth will call the roll.
Deputy Supervisor Hawthorne.
Here.
Councilor Anthony.
Here.
Councilor Greco.
Here.
Councilor Haggerty.
Here.
Councilor Holloway.
Here.
Highway Superintendent Moyer.
Here.
Budget Director Lyman.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, I have a number of, well, first we need a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes. Previous meetings, that's April 14th, April 28th, and May 5th. Have you all, I know you've all received them.
Yeah, I was answering.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as written for April 14th, 28th, and May 5th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, at our, it was the April 28th, no, it's April 14th meeting, or April 28th meeting, we had a verbal agreement with the gentleman from Proline that he would accept $1,800. Consequently, at that meeting, we agreed to accept his bid of $1,800 contingent upon receiving a written amended bid, which we have received. I have it right here. I'll sit down in Ruth, I guess she should keep that. So that is completed.
We need to make a motion to accept it.
We already
Yeah, we did.
accepted.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
Contingent on receiving that letter.
That's right. Okay, I'm reading it. Okay.
Okay, I had a letter from Cooperative Extension. This is letters written to inform you that the Camp Happening program will not be able to return to your site at the Granby Community Center this summer. Due to cuts in staff and budget, each site that has participated in Camp Happening program was carefully evaluated for attendance, cost effectiveness, and other programs in that area. For this year, we are only able to select sites that have very few, if any, summer programs for the youth in that vicinity. It is with sincere regret that we inform you of this decision. It is our hope that we may be able to return to your site in years to come. The price of success. We have our own very good program, and they were conscious of that because they saw the buses coming and going last year, so they knew that we had
The only trouble is that was catering to some of the younger kids.
Right.
It's too bad because I think there was about 60 kids that were attending that.
It's an excellent program. I'm very familiar with it, and maybe it would be nice if I wrote a letter saying we're sorry you're not coming, but we certainly hope that in the future you would reconsider us.
I think it'd be wise to acknowledge.
Okay, I can do that.
their letter.
I have a copy of a letter written to James Karasik, Chairman of the Town of Granby Planning Board. Dear Mr. Karasik, on behalf of the Oswego County Planning Board, I would like to congratulate and commend the Town of Granby Planning Board for its initiative in training of board members. It is unique in our experience for an entire board to make the commitment of time and energy to obtain comprehensive training that your board has made. By completing the course for local planning officials offered by the College of Environmental Science and Forestry at Syracuse University, you have demonstrated that you take your responsibilities as public servants very seriously. Once again, congratulations and good luck with the development of your town comprehensive plan. And this is signed Paul Vickery, Chairman, and Ed Marks, who is the Director of Planning and Community Development, and is from the Oswego County Planning Board. So I'm proud of them. That's very nice of them to write a special letter. I have a letter from Joyce Cook from Fulton Public Library. Dear Mrs. Hawthorne, for the first time ever, the Fulton Public Library is going outside of its chartered area of the city of Fulton and directly asking the taxpayers of the Fulton School District for financial support. This affects people in the town of Granby, so I wanted to be sure the town officers and board understood what we are asking for, hence this letter. By state law, public libraries cannot charge people outside their charter area for basic library services. That's why library board members and I have appeared at the Granby and Volney town board meetings in the past to request financial assistance for the operation of their public library. In lieu of asking the town for separate funding, there is now a mechanism by which we can go directly to the taxpayers. As part of the school district budget vote and elections, Proposition 3 will ask the district voters if they will support the library for $10,000. This vote is on Tuesday, May 18th. The money, when approved, will be collected by the school district and turned over to the library board. This year's appropriation can't increase unless it's approved by the voters at a school district election. This yearly appropriation. Therefore, there will be 2 lines on taxpayers' bills, one for the school tax and one for the separate library tax, which will likely be around $2 per household. It is important to know that people who have their school taxes reduced or dropped through their star exemption will still have to pay the full library tax. The members of the Fulton Library Board and I would appreciate some indication of support from the Granby Town Board. A board resolution, a statement of support in your meeting's minutes, a letter to the editor, whatever the town officers feel would be appropriate. The library board and I thank you very much for any backing you can give us. Please call me if I can answer any questions. This is the same night that the people who live in the Fulton School District will be voting on the budget and school board members. It is a very minimal amount, like she said, $2 per household. And it does, to me, it seems like a very good idea. It's an excellent resource for our community as well as the city of Fulton. There are a lot of Granby people who use the library, and we use it for nothing. So I don't know how the rest of you feel about this.
This is going on the ballot the same night as the school budget.
Right.
And
It's
the school election, too.
Proposition 3. So for this to take place, all the voters...
$2 per household is nothing for each, to think what it does for the children.
That's true.
And the library, grown-ups use the library too.
Is this a one-shot deal? Or
No,
is it-
this would be, my understanding, a yearly appropriation. It does say that this amount of $10,000 total can't increase unless it's approved by the voters. So we're not, by agreeing, you're not agreeing to something which might shoot up in future years.
So there's nothing really that we act upon here,
No,
is there?
she's
Yeah,
just
it's
asking
Get the word out.
if we would express in some way our support. I don't know if there's anything in particular you would want us to do, a resolution, or just let the people know.
Well, I know the number of times that I've been over there, any library, any book is very important today and to have a facility like that available, I think is a must.
And nowadays, it's not just books. I used to go in there before I had a computer at home and use their computer. And
Every trip I take, we take the audio tapes of books. And they don't have too big of a library over there on those, but it's growing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't think we need them. Anything.
Okay.
Do you really? I don't think.
no, it's,
I think it's going to be on the ballot. People
I guess
should-
I would suggest that as we speak to people that we encourage it.
Yeah.
$2 is nothing.
$2 per household is rather reasonable for that. Keep the library funding better.
True. Okay. I have a letter from Diane Broadwell. Did I give you that copies of that? I don't think I made copies this long. And I guess I better read it all. I am working with a group of local citizens who are seeking county support for the building and operation of a county-wide animal shelter. We recently began a petition drive and a series of letters to the editor in the local papers. Our petition drive has demonstrated that the people of Oswego County realize the need for this shelter. We have collected more than 3,000 signatures and continue to receive approximately 100 per day. We've also written to Senator Jim Wright and Assemblywoman Frances Sullivan and to all the county legislators requesting their involvement in finding the necessary funding. We estimate the cost of building the shelter to be approximately $450,000 with an annual operating budget of $140,000. Enclosed is a copy of an article from the Pale Times which shows a $6 million surplus in the county budget. We believe that it is feasible for the county to assist with the construction and operation of the shelter, but we don't expect the county to shoulder the entire cost. We will also be approaching local industries and businesses for their support, and many of the people signing petitions have volunteered to help with donations or more fundraising. With this letter, we are now writing to each town supervisor asking for your assistance and support. The countywide shelter will benefit every town in the county because you will no longer have to provide funding to your animal control officer to house and euthanize animals. The county shelter will take on that responsibility. We'll also provide shelter for unwanted cats, something that no town is able to provide. The overall benefit to the county and its citizens is even more important. These animals will have a chance to live, or if necessary, they will be euthanized in a humane manner. They will find homes, but will be spayed or neutered before they leave the shelter, eventually cutting down the population of unwanted animals. The practice, which is all too common now, of dumping helpless animals on country roads will, we hope, diminish. When we approached the county legislators, one question that was raised was whether the towns agree that such a shelter is needed and whether they are a potential source of operating monies. We realize that this project is still in its very preliminary stages and that it is premature to ask for even a tentative financial commitment. So this letter is strictly for our information in deciding the best approaches to take in organizing funding the shelter. We ask that you fill out the enclosed questionnaire and return to us this information that we will share with the county legislature as we begin to develop a specific proposal. We thank you for your time and appreciate your discussing this matter with your trustees so that we can approach the full county legislature knowing that we have a base of local support. If you have any questions and so forth. This is S. Diane Broadwell.
Is that something you want to do tonight? Or
No,
put it on a
it's
work
something to
session?
think about and maybe discuss a little bit. I know that we've had some communication from our dog control officer, and she questioned the feasibility of it.
I think I think the arrangement we have in the town of Granby right now with the Callens being our animal control officer, I think is working out real well. That personal touch to it, and she knows the people, she knows the animals. I certainly wouldn't at this time think about going with a county program, substituting that.
Right. Well, that was kind of my feeling that,
Now, is this just a, what they're saying it's a shelter for the unwanted animals, but you're still going to be keeping on your own control officer?
no, I think it's intended that, which would be you'd have to keep your own animal control officer,
Right,
but she would
they
have to take them
they
to
would be
who knows where.
just transporting them, like Fulton transports to Oswego now.
Yeah.
They would be transporting out to the
I thought
county.
it said in the letter there that we wouldn't require that in our budget. That-
Well,
Not
I
the
don't think
upkeep
they're
of the
going to
dogs.
send someone out to pick up the dogs. I think you'd still have to have someone.
The way I understood it is that they would be taking and transporting the animal to Oswego or wherever they set this up.
That was my
So that
understanding.
means we wouldn't have to pay for food or housing. We'd just have to pay for the control officer.
I don't know, when you get away from the local touch, I begin to question.
Did you make copies of that?
Yeah, well, certainly,
Give us,
yeah. It's something we can discuss.
Maybe we can discuss it in our work
I just got it the
session.
other day, and I haven't really had a chance to look it over.
Get some
too closely.
ideas
There
on
is
it.
a questionnaire, but mostly they want to know what it's costing us now. Okay. In our work session, our town clerk presented to us some information about a resolution which is in the state legislature right now regarding cat registration. I don't know if you wanted me to read this whole thing. It was discussed at some length, and this board decided that it was not something to be encouraged, and are indicating to various state officials that the board is not in favor of it. I don't know, Ruth maybe can explain in more detail the downside of this.
Licensing of cats would put a great deal of burden on particularly farmers in rural areas, because they tend to have many cats in their barns. Cats are very independent animals. They rove here and there. It's hard to keep up with them. Some of them are wild, and if you go into some barns, and it would be hard to catch them, and they have to be, they would have to be registered at a cost, the recommended cost that they were saying was $2.50 for each spayed and neutered cat and $7.50 for each unspayed and neutered cat. There was no recommendation insofar as how the local people would enumerate these animals. You'd have to have an enumeration to know how many there were. You would, such as there was no recommendations for enforcement, impoundment, liabilities to municipalities. So I encourage our board to discuss it and to recommend to the state that they not put this through, and they were in agreement on that.
I think it would be a considerable increase in cost to the town, because
You would have to
the
have it.
bulk of paperwork involved in collecting this.
I could see where the cities would want it, in the cities, but we're country, we're farmlands and all that, and our cats multiply at the farmers' barns and all that. How can you keep track of, say if a cat went into Lyle's barn and automatically had a litter of 7, how in heaven's name are you going to keep track of them?
I don't think he would want to license them
I
all.
mean, you can't. I could see in the city, but not Granby is
Well, anyway,
Then you'd have to put on an animal control officer instead of a
right, we
dog
certainly would
control
have to
officer.
increase our
We could just
staff.
about keep up with the dogs.
Yeah. So anyway, we did want to kind of review that at this meeting so that the rest of you folks would know what's going on.
Yeah. You're not tired,
No. Like I said, large cities, we
are
are.
you? The city is all right. Not here.
It was brought to my attention as something that I think is really, really special, that Malcolm and Marjorie Fuller, who both of them have been our town clerk for over a course of many, many years, are about to celebrate their 70th wedding anniversary. And I think that's fantastic. It's on June 29th. And I would just like to make special mention of that because it's an outstanding event. We're very pleased to recognize them on that special day.
29th?
June
29th.
29th. Maybe the
Yeah,
town,
so cards or whatever would be nice, I think.
the town should probably send one, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Sure.
You will put together a recognition? Or-
Yeah, could do that.
Good. 70 years, boy, that's something that doesn't happen too often. And,
They're
For sure.
employed with the town a lot of
you
years.
got that name and Dave? Good. You know where they live, right? Go down and take a picture and interview them.
Come on.
73.
Really?
29th, but don't tell the other
93 this
paper.
month. I told him to do it today, but I have to live with my sister for
I
something.
wanted to mention again, the Granby Heritage Day will be held on June 19th. We are continuing in our plans for that and coming right along. We're going to have more food, probably more entertainment, and more exhibits, with still keeping the emphasis on historical exhibits. It should be a very nice event. It was very successful last year, and we expect it to be bigger and
Who's
better.
working on this committee?
Elaine, Ruth, Carolyn, myself, Bob,
I don't know.
would you like to join us?
I'll help out
Great.
all I can, but
Okay.
yeah.
We'll
I'll-
find it. There's plenty to be done.
Sure.
Even if, even one phone call to take care of one little piece of it
Yes, yes.
is
I'll
very
work.
helpful.
Yes, I'll work.
Okay,
with you.
great.
Madam Chairman, person, do we have a flyer available that we could give to Dave Taylor here?
Yes. They're on Ruth's desk in her office. I don't have one right here. But you can
We'd appreciate any help.
you can
that-
steal one off the door out there.
Flyer for the Heritage Days you're
Yeah.
talking about, Bob? Okay.
I did have a little bit more.
Those people that missed it last year, I think, missed a real special event. There was some unique things there.
I want the strawberries, that's all.
Pictures, books, artifacts, and the senior citizens and their strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, that's what I want, strawberries.
This year they want to do pie.
They want to do pies, okay.
Pie and ice cream. But it is, I enjoyed it a great
Well,
deal
you'll have
last
to
year. I
tell
think
me,
everyone did.
Nancy, you'll have to tell me what to do.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But
This is, now how many years are we going to be celebrating here?
181,
181.
so.
Last
But it's
year-
a nice, the nicest thing about it is that it brings people together from the community, and we had a marvelous group of people last year who came, who they brought things from their attics and their, paper items and even antiques and so forth, and set up little exhibits and just talked with their neighbors, and it was just a very neighborly type of thing, and we enjoyed it, and I love that kind of community cooperation.
And what time is that?
This year, we're going to start an hour earlier. We're going to start at noon and run until 4 o'clock. We encourage people to come in costume if they want to. And,
Anyone that has any artifacts or anything that regards the town of Granby should contact
Call Ruth or myself.
town clerk or the deputy supervisor or
There
supervisor.
will be table space, and even 1 or 2 items is very nice. We had people come in last year with just a couple of items, but they were so special, those items that they brought. And other people came in with a whole table full of items. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a fancy exhibit. It's the substance that really counts. Okay? Recently, we had a discussion, a interview with a gentleman from Barton & LaJudas engineering firm, talking about some of the services that he could provide to the town board. And including assistance with the planning board, and also assistance with some of the other projects like highway projects, and water districts and sewer districts, and he had some nice things to say. I thought that it was, it seemed like a very good idea to me. I was especially pleased that they only work for municipalities. There's no conflict of interest. I would like to move forward on this if possible. I did talk to Dennis about it, and he wrote you a letter, which I don't know if you've had time to read yet, but
It's a nice letter.
I can read this letter. I noticed in my review of the draft minutes of the town board meeting of April 28th that Robert Hornaday of Barton & LaJudas engineering firm made a presentation to the board outlining services that his company could provide to the town of Granby on projects within the town. I now also have had the opportunity to analyze in detail the written proposal of the firm dated May 6 that has been submitted for the town board's consideration. I would recommend that the town board positively act on this proposal that is before it. As you know, the town has had to bring engineering firms in on projects over the past few years. Yet there is no continuing working relationship existing between the town and any one firm. We also are currently in the midst of a complex issue that needs engineering input, namely the Route 48 North Sewer District expansion, with potential purchase of the sewer line from the school district. Furthermore, based on discussions that have been held between representatives of the town and the city of Fulton, the town may well be upgrading, creating, or expanding existing water districts in areas where town residents use the city as their source of water. It appears that the firm of Barton & LaJudas PC could meet the needs of the town on these and other potential projects. In reviewing the written proposal for services, I find it important to note that the engineering firm is not seeking any long-term contracts with the town. In fact, all services would be on an as-needed basis, with costs for each matter to be quoted or estimated before the services are undertaken. This procedure would give the town control over the potential costs for the engineering services. Finally, I would note that the firm is providing services in Oswego County to the towns of Scriba and Minetto. I have spoken with attorneys for these towns and have been advised that they are satisfied with their working relationships with Mr. Hornaday and his firm. And that's from our attorney for the town.
Now, what do you want to...
The proposal that he sent requires or asks for a signature agreeing to, and like Dennis says, it's not a contract, it's more of a letter of intent. But I would want your approval, yes, to send it back, and then we can get going on some of these projects.
Yeah, well, after having the discussion the other night for at least over an hour, now that I've only had a chance to glance at his hourly rates, but I would make a motion to enter in an agreement with Barton & LaJudas
Can I have a second?
on a as-needed basis, of course.
According to what he's outlined there.
Yeah.
To act as the town engineering firm.
We would not be naming him town engineer, but it's basically as a consultant and as needed basis.
It would only be based on each individual job, right? Okay.
As I discussed with the board at our work session, also Bob and everybody, remember Lynn approached me and was talking about 2 roads that he wanted to call him in for that were going to probably take about an hour and a half. So things of that nature, strictly hazardous. I don't know if you had a chance to set up an appointment with him yet or not. Lynn?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay. So I made a motion.
You made a motion, I need a second.
I'll second that.
Ruth, is there any more discussion?
See, their fee schedule there is based on the 99 years, so, okay.
Yeah, that's for him.
And we do have budgeted
Yes, we do.
engineering fees.
We do have a line here, Bob.
Yeah.
Ruth, would you call the roll?
Counselor Anthony?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Aye.
Counselor Powlitz?
Aye.
Good, thank you. Okay, another thing we've been discussing is changing the term of office of the elective office of the town clerk from 2 years to 4 years. This requires a local law and subject to referendum, mandatory referendum. And to get this whole thing started, we need a resolution.
I'll second.
Oh, okay, I'll read it and you can... Whereas it has been proposed that the term of office of the elected town clerk for the town of Granby will be changed from 2 years to 4 years, and whereas the town board is seeking comment from the residents of the town regarding the proposal, now be it resolved that the town of Granby Town Board hereby schedules a public hearing to hear all interested persons concerning the proposal to change the term of office of the elected town clerk of the town of Granby from 2 years to 4 years. This to take place at the Town Hall, County Route 8 on. We need to set a date for this public hearing. Oftentimes we have them at the beginning of a meeting.
So would that be too soon for the next meeting?
How much time we need to, this has to be advertised at least, and come out in the paper at least 5 days ahead, I believe. So we're talking 12. Yeah, it could come in the, how about the regular meeting in June? June 9th?
Yeah. Is that enough time, Ruth? Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
June 9th at what, 7 o'clock?
Well, our meetings normally start at 7:30. Should we start at 7 for this?
For that, and it would be the public hearing for a half hour on that.
Okay.
Now, there's a time frame in here from what I remember of 150 days.
Actually, this has to, we have to have the public hearing and vote on the local law, pass the local law, subject to referendum, not less than 60 days before the election. So actually, we have until the end of August or so, because the election's in November, whatever.
It'll be carried on the November election.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because even if you have the hearing and you vote on the local law and vote to approve the local law, it still is subject to the election in November. So then it will go on the ballot and will be up to the voters. But in order to put it on the ballot, we
So
first
June
need
9th
to...
is
Would be the public hearing date?
more than adequate
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I think so. If Ruth, you think that would advertise it in time? Sure. Okay. Okay, that is the resolution.
Okay, I'll make that resolution.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion on that? We have already talked about this.
Sign that. Oh, that
Yeah,
one.
okay, good. Ruth, would you like to call the roll on that?
Counselor Anthony?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes.
Counselor Powlitz?
Aye.
June.
Okay,
a bunch of those, you know. Where'd you get this?
Politicians, so I thought you deserved to start.
For 70?
Yep. I did. Okay.
Thank you. We'll get that rolling.
Pass it on now?
Yeah.
Where are we now?
Well, getting there. We do not have a county legislator present tonight. Dog control, I have that report, I believe. I have a report from the dog control officer for the month of April 1999. Number of complaints 35, number of dogs picked up 7, number of dogs released 9, number of dogs on hand 1. Expenses were $16, $178, and $4. Monthly mileage 447, and impoundment fees collected $40, adoption fees collected $25. That's do we have any report from the assessors? I don't believe.
Well, that
Other than
the grievance date is
Grievance
in the
date.
near future,
Right, that's
25th.
May 25th. Right.
The tentative assessment roll is in the office, available for viewing.
I got hours during the day and during the evening, but I don't know what they were.
I don't have that ad with me.
No, I don't either. I don't know if you could.
I think it's Thursday during the,
Thursday evening from 6 to 8.
What was the daytime?
And
You know?
that's
was
the
a s-
13th, and then the other is
A
on the
Saturday.
15th on the Saturday, and I don't remember the hours on that. I'd have to get the paper.
okay. I'm thinking it was 9 to 1, but I'm not sure.
If I get the paper, so you can announce it.
Okay. Historian, she gave me a report. I guess I didn't bring it in with me, but it's primarily regarding the efforts that she has been making on the Heritage Day. I think I put it in the Heritage Day file, but she's working on getting entertainment lined up. Last year we had a Marilyn Underwood, I think her name was. She's interested in coming back again. She was very good. We are considering some additional entertainment. And she has talked to Dr. Judith Wellman, who lives here in the town and is a history professor at SUNY Oswego, and talked to the Fulton Historical Society. They are planning on bringing an exhibit, and so she's been spending a lot of time on that and spending a lot of time on the Sarah Grant also, and her usual efforts. Planning board, the meeting next Wednesday night is very, very important. It's at the community center. It's a public meeting for people to come in and just find out about this comprehensive plan and what it's all about. And everyone is welcome. Anything more I should say about that? The surveys have gone out.
Yeah, all gone
Most
out.
of, or not all of them yet.
Not all of it, most of
Most of them. They're out and they're coming back in. Yes.
it. Need everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, we won't have them all back by then, that's for sure.
No, we don't need them back by then. But
Planning board worked very hard on this. I hope that people just don't ignore this, really, because they've worked very hard on this. And,
right.
who knows?
And they will be working. It's a long project. They're just beginning.
With luck, we'll have it done by next May,
There's a lot
a
to
year
it.
from now.
Dan, what's the date next week? What's the date?
19th.
The 19th at
19th,
7 o'clock at the community
Is it 7 or
center.
7:30? 7:30, I think.
Did it say? I thought it said 7 on the paper, but it's a community center, I know that.
Yeah. Okay. ZBA,
Nothing, I don't know.
highway superintendent.
I
Yes.
Good evening.
Hi. Good.
Okay.
Is it on?
Well, back in April, this is for April's report, we finally got all the plows and sanders removed and cleaned them up and painted, and we've got them all put away except for one we're still working on when we have a chance. Continuing to patch roads. Our roads came through the winter very well. Frost damage is minimal. We're lucky there. Frost went out slowly, and that makes a big difference. We've been cutting a lot of trees. The hard maples have seemed to be dropping in large numbers here lately. The men have installed the ductwork for the ventilation system in the garage. There's some minor work needed to get it into operation. Some rainy day we can get that finished up. I'd just like to say the town is fortunate to have qualified people who have experience in different fields that can perform some of these different tasks that the town gets involved in. We can save some outside labor costs by doing that. All the town road intersections have been swept to remove loose material. We've been reshaping shoulders on, well, we did part of South Granby Road, we did all of Rathburn and Phillips roads. And this allows the water to shed off from the road, and it prolongs the life of the highway, something that's very necessary. It's something that's not popular with a lot of people because I receive more complaints about that than anything we do. People don't like the edge of their lawns tore up for a little bit is what happens. But I just like people to know that it is a necessary function of highway maintenance, and we will attempt to keep any inconvenience to a minimum. The employees attended a hazardous awareness training session, which is required that we do that, and we have a system going now where our men, town of Granby, get together with 7 or 8 other towns to share the cost of the instructor, and that keeps the cost for the training at a minimum. And I attended the public information meeting on April 27th concerning the Himanville Bridge. And from what I found out, the state was looking at 4 alternatives. The first was to just do maintenance on the existing bridge. The second alternative was to rehab the existing bridge and leave it a single lane. The third was to replace the bridge as is with 2 lanes. And the last option was to replace with 2 lane, but put it on an adjacent angle. It wouldn't be in the exact same place it is now. The choice that the state chose is to rehab the existing bridge, which means it's going to remain 1 lane travel. And they also are talking about raising the bridge approaches about 3 foot on both ends. And they say it's to improve visibility across the bridge. I had some concerns, and I raised concerns at the meeting, which were a single lane bridge without lights to control traffic, in my opinion, is very unsafe. The guide rail that was installed on the bridge a few years back makes it nearly impossible for a motorist coming off Pendergast, either north or south Pendergast, to tell if there's any traffic on the bridge at all. You just can't see up in there until you get right out into the roadway. And if they raise the bridge approaches on either end of the bridge, it's only going to make that situation worse. Yeah. So I did raise those concerns, and they did note them. I don't know what's going to happen from here. If they're going to have any more meetings, or what's going to happen.
No mention, they didn't think, if they went with that method, they didn't say they'd put a light in.
He said we would consider it, but they had a light there for a short period of time before, and they took it down.
Yeah, but it was the safest way to do it.
They're planning on doing this during the 2000-year construction season, which would mean the bridge would be closed probably for a good portion of the summer, and they'd be routing traffic down Pendergast Road. So.
I had a call from Ed Marks regarding this situation, this bridge, and he indicated to me that the county planning board is sending a letter to the state DOT in opposition to the option of keeping it as a 1-lane bridge. He said
I would agree with Mr. Marks on that. Right. My recommendation too, that it would be changed to a 2-lane bridge for safety reasons.
He just wanted us to know, and he's going to send us a copy of the letter that they are sending.
Lynn, I have a question.
Yes.
Are we on the county's list for our bridge down here on County Route 8, down near Fuchs?
questioned it, but I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not sure if they've got their priorities scheduled on which bridges they have to do first. Probably legislator Sabala would be a good one to try and find out from, because he's on the highway committee also. So. But I have brought it up to him a couple of times.
Yeah, it needs to be widened or done something to it. I always hesitate when I see another car come down. I just don't want to meet them right in the middle of that bridge. That's
We got 3 of them like that in the town.
3?
Yeah.
This other one right here by the pond is just as wide.
Well, this one here is right down at the foot of both hills.
Yes.
Did the state give any reason why they went with that particular option of keeping it a one-lane bridge?
No, they didn't. It was a very informal presentation. They didn't give a presentation. It was just an open house. They had drawings there, and the engineers were standing behind a table, and people could come up and look at the drawings of what they proposed to do, and the only option shown was the rehab option. The other ones were listed on the sheet that I picked up there, but and they gave a reason why they didn't want to go with the other options.
They've counted traffic there, I would imagine, right?
I would assume they have, but that didn't figure into their decision-making process according to the sheet they gave.
Thank you.
The board has received a financial report of income, revenues, and expenditures. Anything else on budget, Bob?
As I mentioned earlier, page 2, the street lighting expenditures were quartered away through the year. It's not only in general, but in Willowbob. For whatever reason, the billing we're getting from Nagamohock is higher than it was last year. So there's only a little over $3,000 balance in street lighting, and I'll be monitoring that. Into this fall, we're probably going to have to transfer to, because if the lights keep staying on, we're going to run out of money before the end of the year, but I'll make the board aware of that. The rest of general is fine. Machinery and highway, there's only a $5,200 balance in equipment. That's what you bought the diesel from. And again, down in Willowbob, our monthly rate of expenditure is a little bit higher than it was last year, but again, that's just the lights in Willowbob. I'll keep the board informed on that. Worry about it later.
We also have some transfers to make a little bit later in the agenda for the Sarah grant, because it is near the end and we have more need for personal services in that than we have for some of the other items that were budgeted. And so that's the purpose of the transfers. We're going to take what money is left in equipment, for instance, and workshops and move it into personal services to pay for the work that's needs to be done there and to finish it as far as we can go on it.
Robert, on this street lighting here, you say that the billing is coming in excessive to what it has been in the...
No. It's 3 to 4%, a little bit higher than it was last year. I increased it when we did budget last year from the year before, but I told the board about this earlier that I'm not sure whether it's the type of lights, whether it's the rate, because I don't see the billing.
I believe I shared with the board at some point, and maybe you weren't there, but we had a gentleman here from Niagara Mohawk one day, and he explained that, at least in the case of Willowbob, it's just the whole changeover of the system and billing system. And in Willowbob, I believe it's, he said in many cases the bills were going to go down, but if you had, like in Willowbob, it's underground, I believe, and those bills, he'd indicated at that time, would go up. So this is, I don't think it's anything that we have any control
We're going to have to cover the bills sometime this fall, because right now there's not enough money budgeted. But we'll worry about it later.
This was addressed with Niagara Mohawk, so there's no need for the town to go back
Right,
to
no,
them.
we know what the reason is on that.
Okay.
He indicated there would be a reduction in some of our bills, but an increase in one or two of them. Code enforcement, zoning, anything to go?
Other than the meeting that we had with them this past week, I thought was very instrumental in finding out where they're going and what they're doing, and they're making some real good progress in their office there. And they are working on the violation portion and on the code enforcement. And, the town ought to be acting on something that in regards to violations very shortly, I would think. But both Chris Shatro and Brace Talents are doing an excellent job in there.
I guess it was a very, very productive meeting. We talked for quite a long while, but it was worthwhile. A lot going on, and both in terms of the building permits and the system they've set up for those, and also for the violations. And there will be more activity regarding violations in the near future.
By the way, there are buildings, people may not be aware of the building that's going on in the town of Granby, but the code enforcement officer, I think yesterday, come running out and said, here's another job coming, another house coming in, and it was just under a $500,000 home that's being constructed. And this is not an unusual happening in the town of Granby. There's more and more of these taking place. So the town of Granby is a good place to live.
Sure is. Youth, anything on the youth program?
Talked to Dave Johnson the other day, and he's just formalizing the summer program, and he should be that should be made available in the next couple of weeks, I would believe. But, it looks good.
Okay, liaison reports. Rose is the senior citizen liaison. Vince, anything other than what's already been discussed in regarding zoning or highway or buildings?
The only thing, I'm meeting tomorrow morning with the fence guy to finalize, make sure things lay out for somewhere between 9 and 10. And outside of that,
the fence is for Lewis Cemetery.
it's for Lewis Cemetery, right.
So, and you did think it
up
would
for
be up?
Memorial Day.
Oh, and I don't know, should I mention that program that me and you have been working on? Lynn invited me to the Highway Association meeting. Is that what the, and Rule Todd was there discussing the how you can have prisoners do work in cemeteries and so on and so forth. So Lynn got talking to me about it. Anyways, we're going to get a crew coming in Saturday. Of course, it's going to tie up about just about most of my day. And we're going up to Lewis Cemetery, because in the past, what the people that take care of the cemetery, they just blow all the stuff against the stones, and then we get, so we're going to try to get all the stuff out to the road so that our highway department can pick it up.
We should try to match some of those headstones.
Well, that's another problem. But anyways, I'm going to be working on that Saturday. And outside of that, that's about it.
Great. Certainly appreciate all the time that you put into these projects.
Would you repair this headstone broken in?
You have to get a family member, so you're talking seriously.
Yeah, they really should be done properly. Robert, anything in addition to
None. No.
comments we already?
No, I think we covered just about everything.
Rick?
Nothing from my guys yet.
Okay.
Spoke with them, and they said everything's going fine, so
Good.
hopefully keep it that.
I've never seen it so going fine. It's getting sickening.
All right, as I mentioned before, we have some transfers from Sarah Grant.
You got an answer for that?
I guess we should take these one at a time. I need a motion to transfer $660 from account number 1460.2, that's an equipment account, to account number 1460.1, which is personal services.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to transfer $30 from account 1660.4, which is contingency, to 1460.1, which again is personal services.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And finally, a motion to transfer $100 from account 1460.803, which is retirement, to account 1460.1A, which is personal services.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you for that, and this will allow us to complete some more effort, some more work, because right now they have wiped out their personal services budget and cannot really work anymore unless they want to do it for nothing. So, and it is very good work that's being done through this grant. I got a motion to approve the payment of town bills.
I'll make a motion that we approve payment of town bills as listed on abstract 5A99 in the amount of $4,270.37 from general funds, $12,949.72 from the highway fund, and $1,304.72 from the special district funds.
I'll second it, Bob.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I was gonna ask a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's, what we
All
got
right, the-
a pump problem? I didn't get to look at
No,
it.
that one was principal and interest on the loan for the Route 48 South Water District.
Oh, the water district was like
Most of that was for that.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to look at all the abstracts yet. Okay.
And the highway was primarily, the big items there were stone and hauling.
Right, yeah, I saw that. I didn't go through them all. Okay. That's fine. We all said aye.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm sorry, I meant to mention that specifically. As we said earlier in the meeting, we will have this public meeting at the community center regarding the comprehensive plan, and everyone is invited. The next work session would be May 26th. We'll start at 6:30, that's all right, and have a department meeting. This time it's with highway, I think. Yeah, according to schedule.
It is highway, right?
And we're almost to the end of our list, and then we'll start over again.
Okay, so that's on the 26th, 6:30. Okay, now we're
And
going
then that will be followed approximately 7 o'clock or shortly thereafter by the regular, or the rest of the meeting. We'll make it one meeting, actually, because it is the department meeting is a meeting.
Okay.
For the next two Wednesdays, you're
And then on 6/9, we're going to start at 7 o'clock on account of the public hearing.
Yes, we'll change that to 7 because we're having the public hearing. And I guess we would continue with our regular meeting
Right.
immediately after the hearing,
Right.
whenever that might be, whether it's 5 minutes or 25 minutes. Public comment.
You could do it.
Jim Best, 60 Best Drive. The Hemmonville Bridge, you didn't mention who was making the presentation.
There were 3 engineers there from CNS.
Oh,
It wasn't really a presentation, it was an open house,
But were they representing who are they representing?
New York State.
Canal system or the?
They didn't say. I got some literature I can talk
Well,
about.
okay, the thing of it is, that's been a deal been going on for about 5 or 6 years, and there's no intention in the state of New York to do anything with 690 to extend into the town of Granby. Anything is now. They've got 5 highways running north from this Oswego County, and anytime we talk about improving that highway on Route 48 from the town of Granby, it's not in the issue. That's not going to happen. Hemmonville Bridge is the only way you can get across the river Fulton without having to get involved with the village of Phoenix, and you use it for transportation for schools, there's no reason that shouldn't be a 2-lane bridge, and it should have a sidewalk on it. We discussed that in one other meeting about maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago, on it. The bridge is in the canal system, and that's why I'm asking who's making the presentation. If it's canal money, then it behooves the town of Granby to make a resolution and advisement to both the canal, New York State Department of Canals on it, and the DOT, and make sure the senator knows about it. It may be something that this canal money, something like that might come out through office out of the federal for you. But I think that there should be a strong resolution to make that happen, and also get a hold of the town of Schuylkill and town of Volney concerning that, and make that also happen there, because it is a county highway either side of the bridge, but it's very important for people that want to get to the east side of the city of Syracuse on an easy way, and that road gets you down to County Route 6 and back onto 481. But anyway, that's important. And I attended many meetings on that with the state over a number of years. And the issue was they were going to do something on that in the year 2000. And at that time, the last time I talked about it, they were going to take and maybe possibly even move the bridge off-site, use it for something to do with historic value, and put a different bridge in there. But if they're going to raise it 3 feet on either end to bring the elevation up, you've got a problem with North Pendergast Road anyway. You've got to have another way out. So I would think that it's a priority to have the town board advise whoever they are, and make sure everybody else knows, and especially the senator, that should be improved. Thank you.
Yes, I didn't ask for a resolution tonight, but I'm thinking that we should, in the near future, I would like to see the letter that the county planning sent and make sure that it's
Well, I'd find out
included all the details.
I find out who's responsible for it,
Right.
and organize it between the
Right.
county and the town of Schuylkill.
He was also going to notify them.
You sit up here and you wonder, they want to modernize everything, you know, and they want to spend money to repair this bridge, a 1-lane bridge. You would think
It
that,
seems short-sighted.
you would think, like, you know, they would modernize it and put a 2-lane bridge there with all the bridges there.
I believe there's considerable truck traffic. There used to be, maybe there isn't now.
No,
Yes,
there's a
there
lot
is.
of traffic that
I've
go over
seen
that
trucks,
bridge.
big trucks,
Still is.
coming off of
School buses,
County Route 4,
emergency
46
vehicles.
You would think if they're going to spend money, they might as well modernize it and put a 2-lane bridge there, and like he said, even put a sidewalk.
Now, this we won't just forget about this. I think at a future meeting in the near future we should
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to get in touch with that.
decide the very best strategy for.
Because at one time there was a weight limit on it.
Yeah, still is.
Yes.
There still is a weight limit, right, Glenn?
No sign though. Did they put another one back? I didn't notice, but.
But another thing to consider, now that they've closed South 2nd Street, Fulton, you're going to get more traffic going up that way also, just to hit certain times.
Sign
People
back
told me
up
that
after Miller's closed.
because of that.
The weight sign.
One thing that I intended to do during their announcement section, just today, our insurance agent, Mr. Vickery, came in and just dropped off a little package and didn't even say anything about what was in it, and I opened it up and there is a very nice plaque from NYMER, the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal. It says this is Local Government Leadership Award presented to Town of Granby in recognition of your commitment to intermunicipal risk financing and management, a 5-year member. This is what we've received. I thought it was very nice of them.
And see, I'll make a comment, seeing that Mr. Best is here. He had the foresight of getting us involved in that, and it turned out to be very good. Even though we've had some flack from other people in our community, Jim, about it, but I met with those people last year down in New York City. It's really, it was great foresight on the Association of Towns and people getting involved in that, really.
I think they do a lot of risk prevention type things too. We received a lot of materials pointing out possible areas of liability, things to look out for, everything from ice on roofs to town constable potential problems and so forth.
And I believe our rate went down this year. Of course, we just bought another new truck, so it might go back down, but...
No, but it was a significant decrease over last year, so it seems to be paying off. Okay. Any other public comment? Adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I thank you.
Is it tonight?